It began as a dream job. In the early 1920s, hundreds of young women across America walked into glowing factories, unaware they were stepping into a slow and invisible death. They were called the Radium Girls. Studio microphone. Radium was the miracle of the age. It glowed with a soft, green-blue light and was believed to have health benefits. People drank it in tonics, used it in cosmetics, even brushed their teeth with it. So when companies like the United States Radium Corporation offered jobs to young women to paint watch dials with luminous paint, it felt like an opportunity, not a threat. Studio microphone. They were trained to use a technique called lip dip paint. They would shape the fine tips of their brushes between their lips, dip them into the radium-based paint, and paint tiny numbers on watch faces, hundreds every day. They were told it was safe. Some even painted their nails, their teeth, or their faces with radium for fun, laughing as they glowed in the dark. Studio microphone. But slowly, something began to happen. Teeth began to ache, then fall out. Gums turned grey, jaws swelled and cracked. One woman's entire lower jaw came out in the dentist's hand, not pulled, but crumbled, like ash. Bones were weakening, pain spread. The girls were dying, but no one knew why. Or rather, no one wanted to admit why. Studio microphone. Doctors said it was syphilis. The company denied everything. The women were blamed, ignored, or discarded. By the time the truth began to surface, dozens were already dead. Studio microphone. Then came the fight. Led by brave survivors like Grace Fryer, 5 women sued the U.S. Radium Corporation in 1927. It was one of the first major cases where workers challenged a corporation over workplace safety, and won. But it wasn't easy. The women were bedridden, suffering, silenced. Some didn't live long enough to see justice. Studio microphone. Their lawsuit changed labor law in the United States. It exposed the dangers of radiation and forced industries to protect workers from toxic exposure. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, exists today in part because of the Radium Girls. Studio microphone. They were not scientists, not soldiers, just teenage girls with brushes, paint, and trust. But their suffering lit a path that saved thousands of lives. Studio microphone. Their legacy is a glowing warning: even beauty can kill. And silence is deadlier than poison.